Has there been a Bible that you've wanted for a really long time? I finally have the one that I've wanted for years now, and it's an R.L. Allan, NASB RLPB. This is the New American Standard Bible, R.L. Allan Reader's Edition in Petrol blue. If you notice, it has gold stamping along the spine there, and it's in my all-time favorite color. I've wanted this thing for years. I've almost pulled the trigger a couple different times online when it was available to purchase, and I missed it both times. But luckily, through one of the Facebook group pages, I don't know if it was Everything Bibles or one of those. It was one of those Facebook pages that I got in touch with Scott Woodruff. He had a few of these that he was selling and trading with. Scott Woodruff, you may know him. He has a podcast with a couple of guys, and the podcast name is Guys with Bibles. And in fact, another guy on Guys with Bibles, Lee Jones, I made a journal for him not too long ago. So anyway, got a connection with those guys. I recommend you go check them out. Their podcast, again, is Guys with Bibles. And he had this Bible, and he was willing to strike a deal with me, make a trade, and we did. And here it is. And man, what a fantastic color. This awesome petrol blue goat skin with this Mariva calfskin liner, which is just a really thick, awesome filling Bible. And of course, this art gilt, which you have the gold, the red under gold, very beautifully done with the gray blue ribbons right here, the white head and tail bands. If you can see there, my lighting's not great. I have to use this. I'm trying new camera angles, and my desk has a glass top and it's very reflective, so I have to use this white thing of my wife's. So anyway, I hope it looks okay. So it's very similar. This is printed and bound by Royal Youngblood, and if you notice that goat skin there, and notice this brown goat skin here, both by Royal Youngblood, they're very similar. This has two tooled lines around the edge, and it is different. The goat skin's different than like a Highland. This is a Highland goat skin, R.L. Allan, and notice that the grain on this looks a little bit different on the Highland goat skin. Still feels great. Awesome Bible. It's everything that I thought and hoped it was going to be. This is a 36 GSM paper. So 36 GSM, it's a little bit thicker. I'm used to this wide margin heirloom edition, and it's very thin paper. It's like 28 GSM, and I like it that it's thin paper. It's very great paper. Makes the Bible very thin. So I don't mind that, but I've been using that for so long. I've been getting a lot of Bibles recently with 36 GSM on it, and man, I really dig that paperweight. I love it. It feels great and it turns great. I don't feel like I'm going to rip anything. But this text here is it's a double column, verse by verse, which I am quickly becoming a huge fan of verse by verse. A big fan. Used to always do paragraph formats. I used to love, like this right here, the single column paragraph format used to be my all-time favorite. I'm gonna make some videos on this coming up next week about preaching Bibles and different layouts. Verse by verse, I love it. This is a reference Bible, so you have your references right in the center, and then they will put them, if you have overflow, they'll put them in the corner of the Bible. This is a 10-point font. It's not line matched, but this 36, it's called Prima Bible paper, I think, does not bleed much at all. I mean, it shows bleed through or ghosting, excuse me. It shows some ghosting, but it is not distracting in the least, and it's not bad at all. And this Bible has the concordance in the back. It has just like the same kind of Bible paper. It has 8 maps, which I like that it's not a thick cardstock. Your Bible feels the same all the way throughout. And then it runs right into just a whole lot of lined paper. There's like a whole lot. I don't know if it's 30 or 60 or something like that. Pieces of paper, lined paper. Love this layout. Love it. What are some of the specifics that I like about this layout? First off, I love that it's a double column verse by verse. I like that. I'm going to be using this to preach from. I am going through some, midlife crisis with Bible translations right now. So I'm using a few Bible translations. I'm preaching out of the NASB, ESV, CSB, and the New King James Version, occasionally the New Living Translation, just a rare occasion. But I'm working through some of those Bible translations. The NAS is coming out with a 2020 update. So I'm going to be checking those out before I make any decision to move into a main text. So I'm going to be going for a while with not having any kind of main text that I'm using, but just using a variety of them. This is a verse by verse, and they capitalize. Here's some of the things I like. They capitalize the personal pronouns of deity, of God, personal pronouns. The HCSB used to do this, and I loved it. Well, when they updated from the HCSB to the CSB, they took that out. Didn't hurt my feelings really bad, but I did like that feature. The NAS does that. Another thing this does is it does italics. If I can find a passage, it does italics for supplied words. So words that were not in the original Greek or Hebrew or Aramaic, they will, let me see if I can catch something. They'll put it in italics for you right here. Also, they'll put it in italics for you to let you know that this was not found in the original Greek. This is the Greek part in the New Testament. It wasn't in the original, but we had to put this in here so that the sentence would make sense. Sometimes I make major points on words, and I love the fact that the New King James does this, King James does this, NAS does this. There may be others, but these are the three I know of. I like that it has that in there, so as I'm reading and studying the text, I know, man, I shouldn't make a major point on this word because it's a supplied word. Another thing they do that I really like is they do this small caps. So as you're reading here in Matthew 19, starting in verse 18, says, "Then he said to him, which ones?" And Jesus said, and then Jesus quotes the Old Testament right here. So Jesus quotes the Old Testament, and your eye, it doesn't translate so well on camera, but as you read this text, that really jumps out, and you know this is it's breaking up the text a little bit, and you know that this is referring to the Old Testament. I know people that hate that. I personally like that. That really helps bring to my attention right away that this is something that I need to pay attention to because it's making a reference to the Old Testament. And I may need to go back into the Old Testament and read that passage in larger context because it may be a point that I need to bring up to the congregation. Okay? So those are a few things that I really like about this layout. I'm going to make a video in the future, and I'm going to talk more about Bible layouts for preaching and teaching, Bible layouts with references, and what kind of reference systems I use, the different kinds of reference system. For example, this is one of my favorite ones. And if you notice, this is chapter 19. And if I'm right here and I'm at chapter 19, verse 13, it's really easy for me to find that 13 right there. A lot of them will have the chapter number and the verse and some other things like that. But this is just the verse number, which makes it personally for me very easy to find. A couple of different shades just so you can get a good idea. I'm about to run out of time on my phone here. But here's a brown, here's a red, here is a black. I'm just trying to get an idea of this petrol blue. I want you to see just how good looking this thing is. Here's one of my portfolios. Really helps the color contrast on there, I think. Just a very, very, very cool color. Absolutely love this color. I love this goat skin. I love everything about it. Again, Scott Woodruff, thanks so much for doing business with me, and I'll talk to you later. Have a good day. God bless.